Welcome to the Focus on Why podcast. I'm Amy Rowlinson and I ask my guests one simple question. Why? Focusing on the importance of why, I share with you the relatable, uplifting and inspiring conversations I have with people from all walks of life. This podcast will encourage you to focus on your why to enable and empower you to achieve the success you desire. Have a purpose, have a plan, focus on why. Before we start, I would like to draw your attention to what I can offer you as a master coach. I can help you to focus on your why with clarity, uniting your passion with your purpose with a plan to create the life you truly desire. Book a free 20-minute coaching call right now via calendly.com/Amy Rowlinson/call, and we can take it from there. Welcome to episode 304, my 48th Reflections with Actions solo episode. It's been a jam-packed few weeks for me recently, and my goodness, so much has happened. Not only have I released 5 incredible interview episodes, including the huge podcasting milestone of 300, but I've been fulfilling my word of the year, adventure, by travelling around to honour 4 in the room speaking opportunities in the East Midlands, in Kent, in Dublin, and back in Stratford-upon-Avon. Going back to my childhood hometown of Stratford is always wonderful as I get to spend some time with my mum. This time together, we carefully chose the different flowers to plant around the year on my grandmother and grandfather's shared grave. We'll be putting the headstone in November as the earth has finally settled from the burial back in April. Again, another timely reminder of the importance of the time that we have on this earth, what we can do to make an impact, and how we can leave a lasting legacy for those who will tread the boards gently behind us. I use podcasting and in-the-room opportunities to speak about the impact and purpose in life that I want to make. I spoke about the positive global ripple effects of podcasting at PSA East Midlands and at a property networking event in Kent. At the beginning of October, I was taken on a journey of elevation. I'm not speaking of the sensational view of Dublin that I witnessed from the 7th floor of the Guinness Storehouse, although that was truly spectacular. I'm referring to the opportunity for the world of speakers to come together for 4 days at the Global Speakers Summit held in Croke Park, Dublin. Elevating on all levels, this event provided an opportunity for people to showcase their expertise, to share their knowledge, and to network with both old and new friends. I have never experienced a conference quite like it. Emotions were tested to the limit as speakers wove their magic, evoking powerful shifts in the audience. It was fascinating to witness the variable styles that speakers adopted, each commanding the stage in their own unique way to get their message heard. Using a balance of humour and humility, rhetoric and resonance, power and pleasure, speakers created mesmerising, memorable moments that will last in our minds for a lifetime. I didn't speak on the main stage. Instead, I ran 3 Ask the Expert sessions on podcasting. Positioned as an expert in front of my global peers, I received many compliments on how well I ran the sessions. From this weekend, my speaking career has now been elevated, and it was achieved through sharing my insights and expertise on a topic and the speaking medium that I absolutely love. Combining purpose and podcasting is a massive win-win for me, and it is clear to others too when they listen to me. Here are a couple of testimonials that I received. The opening conference keynote speaker Sean Weaver said, I attended Amy's Ask the Expert session at the Global Speakers Summit in Dublin recently. While I've attended these events in the past, her session was quite simply the best I've ever attended. On a subject of podcasting, she was succinct, informative, engaging, and possesses an enormous knowledge of her subject, which she shared with a podcast phobe like myself, inspiring me to look at it again as a powerful marketing and client engagement tool. I would have no hesitation in recommending Amy as a speaker, coach, trainer, or any other form of facilitator in this area of specialist knowledge. Thanks, Amy. An international speaker, Jennifer St. George, said, I was privileged to take a class from Amy this week. Amy is a speaker's speaker, the highest compliment as a professional speaker that I can give about another professional communicator. She structured her program on podcasting in such a way as to present her practical ideas, thoughts and concepts as part of the big picture, ensuring her audience was never overwhelmed. Elevation literally takes you to your next level of growth. It takes you out of your comfort zone and moves you forward. It may seem a little scary sometimes, however, taking action like this is how you grow and learn. The rewards far outweigh the discomfort of working towards that next level status. Are you actively looking to grow and learn? Go on, get out there today. Focus on elevation. What ways can you elevate yourself today? I'm currently on my own journey of elevation on a 12-month Lead the Change program, and I wore both delegate and mentor hats at Dr. Joanna Martin's One of Many's retreat this weekend. I got to look at what fulfillment means to me in more depth. I was curious to note that I spend so much time guiding others in this subject that it was glorious to give myself the space to do the same. And as a roundtable mentor at this event, I guided several women to get clarity on their purpose. Understanding and fulfilling your purpose is life-changing. If you would like to understand how, just reach out to me and book in a free call via the Calendly link in the show notes today. As part of Lead the Change, I attended 2 leadership days, one with 70 other women in the room and one with a handful of women with horses, where we learned what type of leaders we all are. A truly mind-blowing experience, which I'll share in more detail later in this episode. But first, let's dive straight in. And first up is 299, The You Factor with Denise Fay. Have you ever stopped to focus on what makes you, you? Do you know what your you factor is? Award-winning marketing mentor Denise Fay helps business owners who want to make both impact and income to become more visible, whether that's world domination or simply to become more famous in your niche. To find fulfillment in life and to achieve your goals, Denise encourages you to maximize the life you lead by focusing on the you factor. She encourages everybody to just step into their own power. In our conversation, we talked about achievement and how it is both Denise's and my chief driver in life. I shared that I see achievement as a catalyst of change. I see it as about striving for excellence and seeking those incredibly positive, transformative opportunities. I asked Denise what the words achievement and fulfillment meant to her. She said that achievement for her meant she was constantly working towards something, toward a goal. In terms of fulfillment, that means that she was just happy with what she is doing. What does achievement and fulfillment mean to you? I'm curious on the choice of words that Denise selected and also rejected to articulate her thoughts. She chose the phrase, working towards a goal, not striving, as she didn't like the word strive. Denise felt that strive was an element of struggle in it. Also, she said that fulfillment was about being happy with what she was doing, a combination of being and doing. The state of being happy and a sense of purpose for Denise were achieved in the act of what she was doing in life. I highlighted the work of Daniel Pink in this conversation, specifically his book Drive and his TED Talk on the importance of 3 things: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. These elements are believed by Daniel Pink to be the 3 key areas of intrinsic human motivation. The keys to intrinsic human motivation. Autonomy is a desire to be self-directed. Mastery is a desire to get better at a particular skill. And purpose is a desire to do something that is meaningful and of importance to the individual. If you haven't had a chance to read Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us, or watch this TED Talk, I really urge you to do so. There are many fascinating insights to take from it, particularly around monetary rewards in relation to motivation. The motive of purpose is key to what drives people to work, and it is shifting a new way that companies are operating, flourishing and nurturing their people, as well as the impact that they have on the world. A win-win for planet Earth. And if you didn't already listen to episode 299, The You Factor with Denise Fay, make a note now to tune into it and find out what your You Factor is. Next up is my reflection on episode 300, The Strength of Purpose, with me and many guests. This is a tricky one to unpack, as there were 11 guests in total, all pulling on different threads on what purpose is and why you need it. Sharing what they most want to accomplish in their lifetime, and sharing why they get up every morning to do that. In this celebratory 300th episode of Focus on Why, I invited these guests to share their answers and insights on the strength of purpose, and wow, what an episode it turned out to be, full of insight, knowledge and entertainment. First was Nadine Hack, who aligns her work with her values, embodying the fact that the whole is greater than the sum of all its parts. Nadine spoke of the importance of the depth of our connections. Connectedness is one of my core values, so I really resonated with this. As a life purpose coach and a podcaster, I am a bridge builder. I'm connecting people together from different cultures to understand purpose in our everyday life. I aspire to build a better life and a better world for everyone through this connectedness. Wired for positive connection and the need to be social for all aspects of your well-being in every sense, you have a desire to connect and establish rapport with a close community. You build this connection through trust, happiness, and consistency. We are all in this world together. We are, after all, just all pieces of one giant jigsaw of life. And there is strength in our solidarity. And I really look forward to hearing more of Nadine's purpose when we record our episode later this year. So look out for her episode in November. Sam Rathling is the first guest that I interviewed for the show way back in 2020, and her episode was released as number 005. Now, because she was my first guest, I have a strong relationship with Sam. She trusted me that it would be worth her time to record the episode. She took a leap of faith in me, and it really paid off for both of us. Sam's episode has still got the highest number of all downloads for a guest episode to this day, over 2.5 years later. And in her episode, in this time in 300, she asked the question, do we have a different life purpose and a business purpose? And I said it depends and it's down to the individual, and that is still the case. They can be very similar or they can be different. However, the values that underline them will need to be fully aligned for anything to be achieved. For Sam, her goal, her purpose and her why have never shifted regardless of all the ups and downs that she's faced. The legacy and her family are what drive her. It's simple, and your life purpose can also be as simple as that. I lovingly shine the light on purpose. That's it. It doesn't need to be any more complicated. Don't overcomplicate your purpose. It is something that you can be and do at all times, on your own, at home, on a walk, exercising, at work. It is literally omnipresent. It is your state of being and doing simultaneously. It brings you joy. It's meaningful to you, and it's how you make your contribution to others. Jay Hoggerty felt that he was in a washing machine, and I love that analogy. That feeling that you're constantly on a spin cycle and not in control. However, when you do stop and ask the question why, you understand more about who you truly are. You get to switch off that autopilot and purposely stride in the direction of your own choosing. Anita Figueroa will be on the show later on this year as well, and we'll be diving deeper into what makes her tick, what lights her up, and what important work is for her. Paul Avens, again, had a lot to say on the strength of purpose. I love the importance that he stressed on being brutally honest with ourselves and the time that we spend on different activities. Doing a time audit could be the best investment you make. When was the last time that you checked what you do in a day and were brutally honest about the results? It's all about acting with intention and being consistent and honest with yourself. I mean, let's face it, if you lie to yourself, who wins? Jo Lightfoot has taken herself on a personal journey of transformation since her first episode with me. She was brutally honest with herself and has given herself permission to step into who she wants to be. Jo has evolved her purpose with passion, process and energy as the main constants. Jez Ray showed us the importance of our individual dots that happen in our past and how they come together to connect and form the most incredible image. Jez said to reflect on all what you've done, that finding your purpose is looking back as well as forward. And it's incredible to see just how pivotal some moments of history are with hindsight, many of which may have seemed insignificant at the time. Mandy Hickson demonstrated her sheer determination and resilience, having chosen an impossible dream, but she just kept chipping away on it. Her sense of purpose has been and continues to be her guiding light and her focus for her entire life. Marcus Dimbleby had 3 life rules which he lives by, and I find that fascinating. I have rules, but I haven't clearly defined them consciously, and I certainly couldn't articulate them out loud as clearly as Marcus did. Do you have life rules? What are they? I'd love to know. I have a question that I ask myself many times a day, often subconsciously now, which is, before I take this action, will it help me achieve my goal? Now, I'm going to spend some more time defining my life rules because I can see how clearly that by living by them, they will serve me. It seems to be working pretty well for Marcus. And something else that Marcus spoke about was slowing down to speed up, to stop, breathe, observe, and think. And it's so important to do this. Whilst recording a podcast this week with Karen Skidmore, again, another episode out later this year, we talked about how the world today is so wrapped up in being busy. We seem to be living in a society where being busy has actually become a badge of honour, where it is celebrated and even rewarded. Where the exchanges between people have now become, "How are you doing?" with a response, "Yeah, good, thanks, I'm really busy. How about you?" "Yeah, good, really super busy too." It's crazy. It's not sustainable. It doesn't even make sense. Are you guilty of being busy all the time? What does being busy mean for your health and well-being? I want to advocate a different message instead, and that's to focus on less. Just as Robert Browning said way back in the 19th century, less is more, because when you focus on less, that's when you really start to enjoy life. Over the last few weeks, I've definitely fallen foul to busyness, travelling around the UK and Ireland to speak at different events about the impact of purpose, and podcasting has taken its toll. Whilst it's been fantastic, I recognise that I need a break. So this week, I purposely blocked out my diary to give myself some free time to reflect, to take things at a slower pace and to do less. In fact, this episode was even late. Usually I release it on a Friday, but it's coming out next Monday or today instead. And that's because I just needed more time to chill. So do less and slow down to appreciate what really matters to you. Slow down to actually reflect and process your thoughts. Slow down to appreciate what you're on the planet for. Focus on less. However, listen more, sleep more, move more, reflect more, give more, and smile more. Stop being so busy. Worry less, talk less, expect less, use less, eat less, and stress less. In fact, focus on less. That's it. Enough said. Laura Dent said that the Focus on Why podcast had been a catalyst to working on her mental health, sharing that it had been like therapy and that it had saved her life. Now, this really gave me goosebumps. Taking someone on a journey from a low place to giving them energy and hope through the conversations that I've had with others and in these reflections episodes is truly heartwarming. I know that there are other people out there who I don't know who have also been positively impacted by the show, who may not have felt so alone when they've tuned in. And this really means so much to me. It really echoes the hopes that I had for the show, which I articulated right back in episode 1. Mission accomplished, Amy, yet there are still more people out there to reach, so my mission is not quite yet over. It will continue on with all the effervescence that I can offer. And my final guest for episode 300 was Neil Velio. Since recording his episode together in 198, he had been focusing on his why. He's been focused on how his work can be more purpose-driven, how his relationships with clients are more purposeful, how his values show up in his work and he honours them. He now has clarity around what he is doing and why. Do you actually know what it is that you're trying to achieve? Are you sleepwalking through your life? And what's the reason for that? Why would you not be totally awake for your life? Because quite frankly, why would you be asleep for any of it? I know I was guilty of sleepwalking, living on autopilot, going through the motions, and I can't quite believe that I was because I wasted so many moments, days, months, years even. But now, oh my goodness, I am loving living every single second because I'm now so aware of reality, so aware of what I can bring to this space, so aware of how I can affect change, so aware of who I am and who I can impact and how I can say hello, how are you doing? On a scale of 1 to 10 and welcome maybe a brutally honest answer in response. So are you sleepwalking? And how do you need to change that? Because this is your life. And why would you not want to live every second? This moment right now has just gone forever. How can you not live every second of your life to the fullest? Don't take yourself or your life for granted. Life is so special. This moment is special. This is your moment. This is a moment where you can literally change. Be who you want to be today. Just go and do it and enjoy every minute. Could it be that these words prompt you to take action, just as 3 words prompted Mandy Hickson in episode 301 into action? 3 words, just like you. These 3 words changed the direction for Mandy's second career path significantly, and she recognised in that moment that she could do something that was far more impactful than her initial intention. Joining the Royal Air Force back in 1994 and becoming the second woman to ever fly the Tornado GR4 on the front line, operating in hostile environments, Mandy Hickson had no idea that 3 words from a young cadet would serve as a foundation for her overriding purpose in her second career. Now serving as aviation ambassador for the Department of Transport, Mandy is also in high demand as a keynote speaker across a range of business and education sectors. Sharing her inspirational journey to become a pioneering female fighter pilot with humour and passion, the 3 words that led Mandy to create purposeful impact were just like you. After 17 years of service, Mandy was looking at transitioning into her second career as a commercial airline pilot, but it didn't fill her with joy. She didn't find it fulfilling, and the irregularity of hours didn't work with her need to be present for her family. It was a fortuitous encounter, a sliding doors moment that enabled her passion to be met, and now she is the role model that she wished she'd had when she was young. It's funny how that happens, that you become the person you wished you'd had known when you were younger to help shape the flight path for your own future. You literally fill the void that was there in your past. That's what I love about this subject of purpose, is that you recognise the reason for you being on this planet. You understand the meaning of your life as you bring meaning to life. It's the living legacy that you gift to the world, and you benefit from seeing some of the impact you make. I say some because not all impact is felt, seen or heard in the moment. Sometimes the seed is planted subconsciously, and it takes many years for it to take root. Purpose is a gift. It is a gift for you and to those you impact. Being aware of the responsibility you can affect is so powerful. The impact you can make through your focused purpose is quite simply astounding. It is about facilitating the light, not hiding under a bushel, being proud of the tools and talents that you possess and using them to create positive global ripple effects. Initiating conversations, instigating action, inspiring impossible dreams that will be fulfilled by others in years to come. What is the responsibility that falls upon your shoulders to take action today? What barriers need to be broken down in your industry or field of expertise? What are the existing impossible dreams that will one day in the future become a reality for others because you champion it today? Mission Impossible is actually possible. What conversations can you initiate that will enable others to feel empowered? Mandy said that sometimes people need to see it to believe it. Well, I also believe that they have to hear it to believe it too. So I'm saying it now. Those 3 words, just like you, could be all it takes to instigate, empower and inspire others in your work right now. Use your strength of purpose to shape the future. What you do today will shape the way we all live tomorrow. And as Mandy said, dream it, believe it, and do it. Next up is episode 302, Living Towards Your Purpose with Janice B Gordon. Energizing audiences and helping sales organizations reimagine revenue growth through customer excellence and sales, founder of Scale Your Sales podcast and framework, Janice B Gordon is known as the customer growth expert. Janice uses more than 20 years of business, sales, customer experience and leadership to unleash hidden potential and to accelerate revenue growth by investing in customer alignment and buyer engagement. When it comes to purpose, Janice recommends complete focus on your non-negotiables and advocates living towards your purpose rather than having a destination that you decide is your purpose, because she finds that a little limiting. Living towards your purpose makes a lot of sense. In fact, because your purpose is something that is, as I said earlier, omnipresent, a state of being and doing simultaneously that brings you joy and meaning, how you make your contribution to others, your work is in fact never complete. It is your life's work. There is no end. It evolves as you grow, learn, and experience new things. You build your purpose over time. It scales as you grow. It evolves as you learn. It moves into different areas as you connect with more people. It makes more impact when you understand how to make a difference. Janice is not here to mess around. She said that she feels lucky enough to know that she has a particular set of skills and that she understands how to deploy them. In fact, she sounds a bit like Liam Neeson in Taken right now. But Janice says that doesn't bother her, that she does not have a clear defined purpose, that it's not one big bang thing. However, what she does believe in is that she builds these layers upon layers in her pursuit of living, and in doing so, her purposeful actions compound over time. She knows her milestones, they're clear to her, and she works towards them, carefully crafting significant goals in each of the steps, showcasing her achievements along the way. Janice uses her curiosity to investigate life. She holds her core values as her compass to navigate and know that she's always on track. She said that everyone should know their non-negotiables. Do you know yours? And it reminds me of the conversation I had a while back with Brant Mensoir, who talked about his non-negotiables too, with his black sheep values back in episode 217. Go and check that episode out if you haven't heard it already. It's amazing. And authenticity pops out to me as the key message, my key takeaway from Janice's episode. She is unapologetically Janice, and I absolutely love that about her. She said that people love you for being you, that the more you are, the more people love you for it, and it is so true. Stop hiding behind a facade and allow the real, authentic you to surface. I can guarantee that when you do so, you will be able to transcend to new, unscaled levels. This week, I spent a day with horses on a leadership retreat. The program was not about horses, though. It was about people. It was incredibly illuminating and the ultimate lesson in authenticity. The facilitator of the session, Rosie Tompkins, said that horses are a true barometer of authenticity. They live in the present. They pick up energetic information and communicate through energetic transfer. What you bring to the table is on show for all to see as the horse reflects it, as they are experts in non-verbal communication and sentient learning. Horses reflect your strength of character, your heart, your internal incongruence and your self-limiting perceptions. There's no hiding behind facades here, as the horses mirror your energy and your leadership performance. They act as a powerful mirror to you and provoke honest conversations, perhaps that brutal honesty that you need. You cannot lie to yourself here. You're able to see the differences in the leadership styles from you and from others, and the energy types that you have with people in different circumstances. So what did I learn about myself? Well, I learnt that I am a naturally strong, collaborative, upfront leader who can also flex into being a front-end leader when needed. That I am very aware of my environment, that I'm curious, independent and protectively cautious. Sounds pretty spot on actually, and it was fabulous to have a half-ton horse endorse my qualities. So be clear on your path, live towards your purpose. Go as big as possible, be authentic and understand your core values, because these all will, as Janice said, enable you to go forth with confidence. And my final reflection today is episode 303, Achieve Your Motive with Mark Lee. After a successful career in the accounting and tax profession, Mark Lee is now a widely connected mentor, speaker and debunker. Mark believes that it's not enough to simply stand out. He says that your target audience has got to understand that you're relevant, reliable, and appropriate for their needs. Mark's 5 M's model will help you to achieve your motive. Are you every day in every way, in everything you think, do or say, constantly getting better all the time? This was something that Mark used to say to himself when he was younger. Do you want to be remembered, referred, and recommended for your work? Now, I read on social media that Mark felt he'd shared a lot of personal stories and lessons that he'd not publicly shared before. It's funny how the theme of purpose enables people to speak from that authentically vulnerable place, and in the space of focus on why, they feel really safe to do so. The veneer is stripped away in sharing your purpose as you get to the heart of what really matters to you. Mark spoke of some of the assumptions that he'd made in his career and how he'd erred in the process. Goodness, we all make mistakes. However, it is whether we learn from them that distinguishes us, and it is also in the courage of sharing the mistakes that draws us towards one another. Mark was wondering whether his target audience would listen into this episode. Well, within an hour or two of publishing, several people had left him great feedback. And one lady in his target audience had listened and responded, saying that he'd shared some great tips. You never know who's listening. You never know who's watching. And I don't mean that in a creepy way. What I mean is that people stay distant until they're ready to reach out. Stay authentic to you. Be clear with your message. Know what's true to you and don't make assumptions. Engage with your audience and be prepared to make mistakes. Fail with forward motion. Mark has a passion for helping people and has done so for decades. His forward motion of giving over the years has compounded. He said that he is more focused now than he has ever been. And this is his gift in life. He, like Jez Ray, Paul Avens, Marcus Dimbleby, Mandy Hickson and Janice B Gordon, have each alluded to all know how to make the best of the time that they've got left on the planet to make this difference. They understand the strength of purpose and they show no sign of signing off right yet. Their living legacy is ongoing and they are engaging in fulfilling activities. They know who or what inspires them. They have clarity. They have purpose. Purpose is clarity. Clarity is purpose. They focus on what others need, want and desire, and they know time is against them. They know how to spend these moments. Life purpose is about making compassionate choices and being of service to others. Focus your commitment, compassion and courage to focus on why. Don't live a life where you're just filling in the moments. Live purposefully and embody your core values to instead craft moments that are fulfilling. As in doing so, not only will you achieve your own personal success, but you will be contributing to a cause far, far greater than yourself. This is the beauty and strength of purpose, and this is your true gift to the world. How has this conversation had an impact on you? What value have you received from tuning in? What are your reflections with actions? Please take a moment to leave me an Apple Podcast or Spotify review sharing how Focus on Why has made a difference to you today. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. To keep it going, simply connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, or join the Focus on Why Facebook group. All the links are in the show notes. Have a purpose, have a plan, focus on why.